So welcome back to Sorare Wakey Academy. Now it's been a while, I've been busy at work recently, but we're in the Netherlands today and we are scouting the best valued under 23 players that are over there. I'll do like an SO5 team based on guys I think will improve over the next season or so, and obviously they're going to go up in price if that happens. Now remember to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel to catch all of the content that I've been doing. You can follow me on Twitter, as you can see there on the screen, and Discord, and obviously you can follow the gallery as well. We've now got 224 followers, so you can see which players I've been buying and which ones I'm selling. And a few questions I've been getting is, when I buy a player, why do I put them up for sale straight away? Well, say I buy them at like 30 quid or something, if I can make a good profit on them, at least 30% profit, I'll stick them up for sale straight away at that 30% profit. If anyone decides that they're going to buy them, then I'll let them go at that price because I made the profit that I wanted. Other than that, I'll put them in a team for SO5 and away to go and play. Now we look at our first player, and this is our goalkeeper out of the SO5, and it's going to be Virginia. A few of you may recognise the name. I think he was at Everton over in the Premier League and a few other clubs down in like the Championship and stuff. And went to Sporting, eventually ended up at Canberra, or Canberra, however you want to say that, Canberra, in the Erevidisie in the Netherlands. Now, his price is quite expensive, but again, he's an under 23 goalkeeper that's starting every week, so you're going to pay a bit of money for him. And at the moment, his floor price is £119. If you was to buy him today, that's the most you'll pay. His average is 109 over the last 3 days. So here's a goalkeeper. His L5 of 51 for L15, and his last 40, and he's got 49, only played 45% of them games. But since he moved over to Canberra, he's played in every game. So he's not, his last 40 he hasn't been playing because he was over at Sporting and couldn't get in that team. Now he's here and playing in every single game for them. So let's have a look at his price, and you'll see this is like the last 6 months, and you'll see his price going up and down a little bit as the league started, and then didn't get in his position with Sporting, and then eventually got into this side, and his price has started to rise again now. He's quite a consistent player. I want to say consistent player, what I should be saying is consistent starter. He's always playing, he's always there. But he has up games and down games, and you see a really low downside to him, but a really good upside as well. So let's have a look at his last scores then. This is over the last year, and this is when he was not playing. He wasn't in the team before he got to Canberra. In fact, that game there, that last one, I think it was for hosting Santa Clara. So yeah, that was his last game for Sporting before he moved on. And then he came here and then he started playing in the Dutch leagues, you'll see. But some good scores of 82s and 90s. But then he's also got this downside of the 20s and 14s. And I've noticed in his last game, he only played 45 minutes. So I'm not sure if there's like an injury off to just took him off to give him a rest or something, but only half a game. I'll look more into that, but also do your own research into that. But you'll see he's played nearly every single game down here since he joined Canberra. In fact, he has. He's played in every game since he joined, but you'll see the 2 red boots there. I mean, he's made mistakes. 3 red boots, I mean, he's made mistakes. So we've just got to watch him and make sure he doesn't get dropped or anything for the next goalkeeper. Now, we know Canberra, not a great side, and they are bottom of their table. Not doing well, conceded a lot of goals to be honest, but this guy is always under pressure. He's having lots of shots against him, so he does really well. And you can see in that game against Emmen, he got an 87.9 in 0-0 draw. But obviously when he plays the top teams, he's going to be very busy, and that's why he's cracking up all these points and doing quite well, even though they are right down at the bottom, as you see. Probably relegation fodder, but at the moment they've only played 16 games, so we're not even halfway through the season yet. So quite a few games to go in this. But you'll see also here, I've put down his last 15 because he hasn't played the last 40. So his last 15, his top SO5 averages, and near the top, look, second there, and then top on the all-round averages. He's also top minutes played, so he's played in every single game. And most of 90 minutes, apart from that one, his last game, which is the worst one if it's his last game. He only played half a match for some reason. But not much on him on that, but we'll have a look at a few other things on him. Now looking on SofaScore, then we'll see here a little bit more about him. He's 191 centimetres, what's that, about 6 foot something, isn't it? 6'1"-ish. 23 years old, Portuguese goalkeeper. Stays mostly in his box. Come out a couple of times in there, as you can see then. And we've got here a weakness is error proneness. We've seen already that he's made 3 errors to goals. Long shot saving not the best, but he does run out according to this. It doesn't seem very evident looking at the heat map. But also good reflexes then. Now I remember him at Everton. I saw 1 or 2 games with him, and he didn't look fantastic, but over in this division, playing for this team, he should be okay. He's played 16, started those 16, team of the week twice, and that's quite interesting, team of the week twice. Also, I think he's had 4 clean sheets, just have a quick look down here. 4 clean sheets, yeah. So, not the best keeper in the best league and in the best team either, but he will get you points. If they get a clean sheet, he's going to be right up there with points. Now, have a quick look at Wikipedia. This is João Virginia, as you see. He's actually 6'3", goalkeeper at Canberra. You see his youth career at Benfica, Arsenal and Everton. And then he was at Everton and only went on loan to Reading and Sporting. Looking at this, he's still on loan at Canberra. Now, this is out of date. This is for 13th of November 22, so I'm not sure if he's on loan there or if he's signed permanently now, so I'll check that out as well before going ahead and buying this guy. But you'll see his international career, he's played at every level, from under 16s all the way to under 21s. So he's not a bad keeper if he's getting in this Portuguese side at that age. And all the way through the national side. So I think you'll agree, João Virginia is not a bad goalkeeper then. I did have a look at three altogether. So he was the best one out of them, but at £109 as his 3-day average, he was the most expensive. I put 2 of us on there as well. Fabian de Kezia, you probably already know, broke into the team and then was sort of knocked out of it again. And then the other one, Sam Westerveld, who's coming up as a young lad coming through. Obviously, he's got a famous daddy you all might know, Sander Westerveld, the Liverpool guy. So, a good basis for him to be a goalkeeper, really, if he's learning off his dad. But that's my goalkeepers for the SL5 team from the Netherlands. Now, when it comes to under 23 defenders in Holland or Netherlands, this guy comes up quite a lot, and he's been on quite a few of my videos now because I still rate this guy so highly. It's Milan van Dijk, and he's from Heerenveen in the Eredivisie, and he's still under 23 until 2025, so a lot of utility with this guy. Now, playing with Heerenveen again, not the best team in the world, but they're doing alright, and he's a right back, comes sort of right wing back, always getting forward. Go and check out my other videos to have a look at this guy, because I've gone into real detail on them. And you'll see here his last 5 of 51, last 15 of 53, and the last 40 of 52. And he doesn't really miss any games, 98% in his last 40, so he's played nearly every single game in this right back position. He's rated there 365th defender on the platform, but I think he's a bit better than that, and he's getting better as he ages as well. Now we'll see his price here, and I just want to look at the price graph as well. I'm going to go for the last 6 months or so. £17.90 his last 3-day average, and only £18 for his floor price. Not much difference there, so you can get him for £18.10 right now. And if we look at his price again, this is when Sorare prices sort of went down a little bit and Ethereum sort of crashed a little bit. But he's just starting to get back up again. £20, just a little blip as he goes back up again. I bought one ages ago. This one was £32, sold him for £44. So, he's down now at like £18. Real bargain, I think. Now, I want to show you his all-time scores, and since he's been at Heerenveen, you'll see a couple of reds there then, 0 to 10 when he wasn't really playing, but look at this. Loads of greens, 300s there then, going back a little bit now. Not been hitting 100 recently, he has had a 99 quite recently, and a 97 as well, and a 95. He's also had a couple of 30s, but he can't play well in every single game, so if you look at his whole averages, then he's pretty decent. He's going to be around the 50 mark, isn't he? As an average, as you've seen already in his last 40 games. Has hit 5 goals and 4 assists, which isn't a lot to say he's played like 96 games, but he's hit maybe 5 or 4 more than another right wing back, so I think that's pretty decent. Looking down here, you'll see he's been playing this 90 minutes in every game. They don't really take him off. I'm not sure what the captaincy situation is here, but I'm sure he might even get there. See there, he's played 1 game then as DMP against AZ. But 90 minutes in every game as right back. A couple of mistakes here and there along the way, but look at his big scores, 94s, 60s. So, real big scores from this lad. Now, I'm going to look at his last 40 then for Heerenveen. Now, Heerenveen, if we look down the league, they're actually in 8th position, so they're doing better than what I thought as well. But I think they're doing better than they'd expect. And if you look at the last 40 games here, then we'll see that all-round averages, Van Dijk's up there in 3rd place, and he's also up there in 3rd place for the averages, top averages, SL5-wise. Doesn't really get that many net decisives, but top minutes played out of the whole team, he's the top of them, so he's played every single game as you've just seen. Nothing really else than that. I mean, goal scorers, he's got 3. He's like 3rd in the last 40 games for goals scored as a right back. Nothing else much more on him in that team. But really good player, I think. Young player coming through. We'll quickly go to his Wikipedia page, and you'll see on here that he's 5'10", which I think is a good height for a right back. Low centre of gravity, really. Just above average, basically, height-wise. He started off at Feyenoord and went to Excelsior. And then his senior career, he actually broke through at Excelsior when he was very young, and then went to Den Haag, Canberra on loan, and then over to Herenveen, where he's played on this 49 games. But we know he's played a bit more than that. This is old again, like I keep saying. Moving on to his Sofa score then, you'll see here he's looking down as a right back. Weaknesses are no outstanding weaknesses, so he's got nearly everything then. Great at tackling, good on ground duels, wins a lot of them. And you'll see on his heat mapping over the season here, up and down this right wing, he gets forward a hell of a lot, doesn't he? And his score's quite consistent there. So this season then, 16 games, started all 16, 90 minutes per game, 3 goals. It's not bad, is it? What else are we looking at? 7 clean sheets as well. So it's half his games is getting a clean sheet in. That's why they're up there doing quite well in the league then. But there is a little downside to this now. When we've looked on his news then, it looks like Fulham have come in and are very interested in Van Uyck, and like a 10 million bid could be in for him. And he's saying it's hard to say no to going there. Now, whether he goes there and plays well, I'm not sure. It might take a bit of time to settle in, like Malakia at Man United has. You know, can he really cement a place in that Fulham side, or will he stay where he is, where he knows he's getting game time, and they're going quite well up the league? So that's what you've got to watch as well. Keep your eye on that, because that's a big bit of news there. So that's the defender that I picked out, Milan Van Uyck. You can see in there, and we'll also go to our watch list because there was a lot of defenders that we looked at. You'll see them all here, and I'll put them in price order as well. And you can get hold of this sheet. I'll make it live to the public then when I go back on soraredata, and you'll all be able to see this, so you can all look down the list and everything. Now, there's quite a lot on here. There's a good choice, and from £59 all the way down to £10 for defenders, and there's a lot of good defenders on here. I mean, Buchanan you'll have to watch because I think he's on the move as well. Sure, you've heard of John Taze, Gertrude, another good player, Gertrude, and Sugawara there, who's at AZ Alkmaar, also up and down that wing non-stop. And Owen Vindal could be a really good one here. Owen Vindal, he moved to Ajax and he hasn't been getting in the team for some reason, but he might just get in there now with David Blint being on his way. We'll have to watch that situation as well. But some good defenders, take your choice there. You'll be able to see them, as I say. You can either pause this screen and look at them all, or you can go onto soraredata and look at the watch list and the Wakey Academy. So we come to our first midfielder then. And again, I don't know if a lot of you have heard of this guy, but I've been watching him for a couple of years now as he's sort of progressed through his career. And it's Sven Mijnans or Mijans. He's at Sparta Rotterdam, who are doing really well, to be quite honest. He's got good utility until the 1st of July 24, so another year and a half basically. Plays in that sort of more of attacking midfielder, tends to stay on the right more than the left as it shows on there. But really good player this one. I'm going to look at his last 6 months pay and you'll probably see him going up. Yeah, you can see him going up here. People start to take note of him and find out who he is. He does go up, and I have bought one of these before, I don't know how long ago it was. But he's up at £32 or so now. Let's have a look. £30 is his floor price, 29 is his 3-day average. But his last 5, 61, really hitting form at the moment. Whether that form goes down or not, who knows. But it's hard to keep that up. But over his last 40 games then, he's had 93% of starts and been hitting 46. So pretty good. And excuse my throat at the moment, my throat's really bad as I've got quite a sore throat and a cold coming on. So you see his price just flown up. Now people are starting to recognise who he is, like I say. But let's have a look at his scores then. And we'll see here, let's go to all of his scores. Since he's been on the platform then, 56 games, 23 times he's either come off and been on the bench 7 times. But 8 goals in 56 games, 11 assists. So I think that's pretty good. I mean, he had a really bad spell here, as you can see, like a dip in form. But he's back up now. Look at these scores he's hitting, 60s, 70s, even a 94 in his last outing, or 93.6, or 2 assists. I mean, is that a penalty or won a penalty? In 54 minutes. That's not bad, but we were only playing against Canberra, so that's probably why. So good scores all round. So as we were saying, he's got a decent team at Sparta, I think. I mean, they're in 6th place at the moment after 17 games, won 9 games. They're doing better than expected again. Now, I put it into his last 40 because he's been here for them last 40 games, and he's not in this top list really. I mean, he's down there, look, 7 for his all-round average, but hasn't hit the top players in the SO5s. But I think this guy's up and coming. 9 for his top net decisives in 40 games, and again he's on that list there as well as top minutes played. And again, top goal scorers he's there. So, and he's also there on the assists. Now, what about the free kicks? He's taken, well, he scored none out of 1 on his free kicks. Doesn't really take them. Free kick assists, then 1 out of 1. And corners, he's taken 21 corners, but he's not normally on any set pieces by the looks of it. I imagine if he does get on these set pieces, how he'll progress up through them scoring charts. So looking at Wikipedia, then, he was born in Netherlands. He's age 22. He's been at young Sparta and then at Sparta themselves. Again, this is slightly behind. 2020 for his national team now, which he hasn't really played for. And 7th of January 22, so it's a year behind his actual senior career on Wikipedia, so that needs updating. But I'll just look at it to see what the youth career has been like and if they played any internationals or anything like that. Looking at his SOFA score then. Good averaging scores again here. Look, he's played well over the last 5 games, hasn't he? Now, looking at his heat map, when I said I've seen him play on the right a bit better, he plays better when he's on the right for some reason. You see, yeah, on here they've got him as a right winger as well. Look. But he plays better when he's on the right, but you see he's sort of shared between left and right, and plays behind the striker sometimes as well. And it's got him down as no outstanding strengths or weaknesses. So he's just one of them middle of the road players, like a grey area for people. But he's starting to really show, and he's showing himself to me quite well at the moment, because I'm noticing him. 16 played, 13 starts, 76 minutes per game, so he's not playing the full 90. Only scored them 3 goals and 3 assists. But he really does start to rack the points up at the moment, and I think as he gets older and matures again, he's going to do even better, and he's in the team every single week. No DMPs for this. There's nothing about him on the transfer news or anything. So that's my first midfielder then, and that is Sven Meijsens, and he's from Sparta, Rotterdam, and he's my first midfielder. Now we'll move straight into second midfielder. So we'll move on to our 4th player in the Netherlands, and we're looking at Taylor Booth. He's only 21 years old, utility till 2025. He's actually a Bayern Munich loanee, I believe. And you'll see here in his last scores, he's played for Utrecht, and he's been playing 100% of his last 5 games, and he's hit 58 for that. His last 15 he's only played 67%. And hit 48. And I don't think he's been here that long, which is why his L40 scores are not fantastic. But we'll go down here and we'll look at his price, and you'll see here it's £24 for his last 3-day average and £32 floor price. That's a little bit higher than you can get him for at auction. I think the auctions are around like the £30 mark, £28, whatever it might be. But this guy's not special at the moment, but he's making a name for himself. He is an American, I believe. Yes, he's American. And he's starting to fit into this Utrecht side quite nicely now. We'll have a look at his price averages then. And we'll see here, let's go to the last 6 months or so. And you'll see again, as he was an unknown player here, and then he started to get noticed a little bit, and now he's starting to fly, and he suddenly must have had a really good game here, because he went up from £33 to £40 all in one day. He's back down again a little bit now, he's down to £26, so you can see that the fluctuations can go quite high quite quickly, and then drop down again later when it all settles. Looking at his SO5 scores then, like I say, he's not been here that long, I don't think, so let's have a look at we'll have a look at all of his scores. Yeah, you'll see he played a couple of games down there. We'll go back to that in a minute. We'll have a look down the bottom of this to see what he was playing there. But just recently then, he's hit an 80, 83 and a 90. He's also hit the 22, 37s and a 44. Now, he's been playing as a striker when he had them bad games, as a midfielder when he had the good games. So it seems like the left midfield is sort of his position, although down here he was also left midfield and got 22. But it seems like he's better on the sort of wings, out wide, providing the assists and things. You see up here, he's played 18 games and 8 of them he's been taken off, and 8 of them he's been entered from the bench. 3 times he stayed on the bench. But 5 goals and 4 assists in this time in them 18 games. Let's look down the bottom and scores. Where was he playing for that? He was at Bayern Munich for quite a while. And yeah, he went on loan to St. Polten. And that's out in Austria, as they were playing Salzburg and Hartberg. Yeah, so he's out in Austria, played quite well there looking at that. but then never got back in the team again at Bayern, and then came on loan up here, and is now at Utrecht. Now, Utrecht themselves doing okay this season. I don't think they've got the league on this bit here. I'm not showing it on this bit. But over the last 40 games, he's not going to have a lot on there because he didn't play much. So the last 15, he's not really even figuring on this. Last 5, he's probably going to make this somewhere. Yeah, there he is. He's making it on the last 5 games. So he's really on form at the moment. So beware that his form might drop slightly and his price might drop as well. But then again, he could get better and better and better, and then you'll miss out on him as his price rises and soars up. Net decisive actions. This is in the last 5 games. He's had 2. And 2 goals as well. Does take a couple of corners here and there, but not on free kicks or anything. It doesn't look like it. Wikipedia for Bogdan, as I said, American, born in Eden in Utah. He's 5'9". Is a midfielder. Was at La Rocha, then Real Salt Lake before moving to Bayern Munich. Was in their second team, then went on loan to St. Polten that we just saw a minute ago. St. Polten, sorry. Back to Bayern Munich, didn't play, and now he's at Utrecht. Represented the United States under 16s up to under 19s level, and we can't see if he's playing again now, but I think he's knocking on the door to get into that national side. Looking around there, there's no real news on him moving or anything, so he's going to be in this team, I think, for a while. I just wanted to see, is he on loan, or has he actually moved now? He's actually moved, so he's moved to Utrecht now. So yeah, I can see him being there this season, playing really well for Utrecht, having a good season. And that is my second midfielder, and Taylor Booth, like 32, between 25 and £30 probably going to pay for him. And again, I love Holland, I love Netherlands and the league that they're playing, Erevidisie, and you'll see here I've got loads of players again, so many good youngsters, ranging from like 168 quid for Javi Simons all the way down to £4.84 for this lad, Bernardo. Really good player, go and have a look at him as well. And you'll see Midgens there, halfway down. And of course Hakan Evian, who's he's just moved, so he's not even in this league anymore, so we need to delete that actually. So let's get rid of Evian off there. Mohamed Tabouni had a game as a substitute the other day and did really well. He was going to be in my team for this, but then I thought, I can't. When they've got a player like Midgens and Taylor Booth here, I can't really put Tabouni in ahead of them because he's not really starting every game. So the last one for our SO5 team, then we move on to the forwards, and I've gone with Ricardo Pepe. Now when I first started on Sorare, this guy was playing over in America in the MLS, and I had him in my under-23 side, and he just banged goal after goal after goal. And he got his move then, and I thought he's going to Europe, he's going to go down in price, and he sort of did, he sort of dived. And I'm hoping now that he's starting to push himself back up again as he tries to prove himself at different teams instead now. Now, he is 20 years old, so utility till 2027, the under-23s. He's a striker, but also plays off the strike as well, as can do as a number 10. I prefer him as a number 9, up there at the top, getting the goals. He's 224 from the forward list. So he's known to people, and he'll be known to all the Americans, of course, because he's in the national side as well. But his last 5, he's been struggling then, his last 5 are 43, and only 40% of the games. Last 15 though, this is where he was playing, and his last 15 of 58 and played 73% of the games, and last 40 of 41. But this is through being with the other teams as well. And we'll look at him with Groningen now and see how he's getting on then. Because his price at the moment then, you think it's quite high, but again for a forward who's under 23 and doing well, I don't think it's a bad price then. So £55 is his floor price, £51.99 his last 3 days average. Let's have a look at his price, see how it's gone up and down, because this was quite high. I'm going to show you his 1 year in fact. Can we see his 1 year? Yeah, you'll see up here. I mean, I bought him somewhere up here once before. Sold him at a profit, I think, but then he moved away, like I say, and his price has gone down again. And here's down at one of the lowest prices it's been for a while. You'll see down here, I mean, this is probably £21 up. So he's doing better than that at the moment as he's sort of found his feet again now. But let's have a look at his SO5 scores then. I want to go for his whole scores then. There'll be a fluctuation in this as well, I would have thought. This one he was playing really well, he was hitting the 60s, 70s, 80s, even a 95 up there, consistently hitting these scores. This one he was doing really well and playing well and was expensive. Then he went down, he wasn't getting in the teams. That's when he went to Augsburg, I think. But again, now look at these since he's come to Groningen, and you'll see his scores averaging like 60s to 70s quite well. A couple of low scores down here, but basically done really well since he's gone there. Now he's played 51 times then. This is all his games in fact, 51 times. Entered from the bench 40 times. That's incredible, because when you look at his goals scored, 25 goals and 8 assists. That's pretty incredible. If he's played 40 coming on from the bench, so only 11 starts on that. I'm not sure that's 100% right. However, we'll move on then. Let's go and have a look at his scores down here. You'll see just recently, since he's been at Groningen then, when did he start at Groningen? Here, look. So he didn't play in the first game, but then look at all these good scores. He's gone down to a lesser club. He's getting goal after goal. And in his last 2 games, he's not played that well. They're against Feyenoord, though, and Excelsior. But when we look all the way down here, when he was over in America, let's have a look where he was. Because he was banging the goals in there. He was playing for Dallas. And he was hitting a lot of goals. And I'm sure it's even more than that. Can't see the ones where I think he must have bought him around this sort of area. Because he was really reliable. Yeah, look at all the goals he's scored in there, goals and assists. But just starting to find his feet again, like I say. Now I'm looking at his last 15 games, because he hasn't played 40 games for them. And he's up there with his top SL5 average then. But again, you see down here, he hasn't really got any all-round average to his games, just scores a lot of goals. So he needs to work on that, I think. Net decisives with 8 at the top there. Again, he's not even in the top minutes played, because he keeps getting brought on from the bench by the looks of it, or was doing. Top goal scores with 6 and 2 assists. Does take penalties. I'm not sure about the free kicks, nothing there. No, Suslov's on them. Suslov's a good player as well. They partner quite well, I think. They are down at the bottom of the league, but he's going to score a lot of goals, and when he goes back, because I think he will go back from here, he's going to be an awesome player. Now, on his Wikipedia, then you'll see he was born in El Paso, Texas, United States. He's 6'1". He might have grown a little bit more than that because this is slightly out of date. And you'll see he started with Dallas, 15 goals in 55 games. Went on loan for a little while, scored 9 goals in 13. And then he did eventually get that move then to Augsburg. And he went back to Dallas before moving to Augsburg. But then he went there and he didn't really give him a chance. 15 games, no goals. Went on loan to Groningen and his career sort of took off again. You see on that, it's 11 games and 6 goals. And he's also got his international career, played the under-17s, and he is a national side at the moment. He's in the national side. Although he got dropped for the World Cup and he was not happy. A little bit of a sulk from Ricardo Pepi on that. Got a bit of a point to prove to people. So you'll see he's 20 years old. He's a striker. Says ground jewels is his weakness. Good consistency for them. And you see on his heat map, he's down as a striker, but you see on the heat map he's sort of playing like a number 10 as such there. Comes back, and I don't know what this is. This must be from corners. I must get him defending on corners because of his height. It says he played 11, started 10 of them. 83 minutes per game, and that's a little bit different to what we were looking at. But 6 goals, 2 assists. Not bad. We'll also see on here then, under his news, there's no real transfer news, but it's just going on about the World Cup and how he wasn't happy and got snubbed and stuff. So, a bit of a sulk from Ricardo Pepi. But I like that information there, he's playing like a number 10 and that. If he went to number 9 and just played up front and stayed up there, probably score a few more goals. Rather than coming back and helping out in that defence and things. So that's my attacker then, and that is Ricardo Pepi. And like I say, you can get him for like £55, around that mark. But I also want to show you the other strikers that we've got then in our watch list. Because there's quite a few in here, and you'll see Jens Odegaard up there from AZ Alkmaar. Sarr, he's quite a good one, 21-year-old, and he's playing quite well at the moment. Who were the others that really caught my eye? Jorg Vertessen might get a chance now then in that side, with a few of the players leaving. And Matson nearly made this team as well, but not quite played enough games, I don't think, to really be in that side. But again, it ranges from £6 all the way up to 73. So a good choice, and you can find this, like I say, on soraredata, Netherlands under-23 team, Wakey Academy. I'll make it public so you can see it. And go and have a look. So just to see where we've got to, and this is our Netherlands under-23 team. And we've got Gel Virginia in goal. We've got Milan van Uyck, and we've got Sven Meismans or Mians, Taylor Booth there, and Ricardo Pepi as our main striker. So that's our team there. Remember where to look on the on soraredata to have a look at the watch list, to look at all them other players that are on there. Loads and loads of talent on there that's coming through, I think. And remember, hit that like button if you haven't already, and subscribe to the channel. And we'll move on to the next one soon. I think I'm going to do my an update on my gallery, because I've been buying quite a lot of young under-23s from around the world, and my gallery's changed immensely. Now if I get like 30% for them players, I'm going to sell them, so you'll see them coming in and out the team. So if I sell them at 30% more than I bought them for, don't worry, it doesn't mean that they're rubbish or that I'm getting rid of them, because I'll buy them back again when they go off form, and I'll just keep repeating on that, and that's how we're making the money, by doing that. So these are players that I think are going to make money this season, that are really starting to hit form and starting to get noticed. I think the big standout on there is Milan van Dijk, who's one of my favourite players in this league. So if you like that video, as I say, subscribe, look at all the other videos as well, because you'll see a few of these players in more detail, and we'll hope to see you next time. Thank you.